How we doing out there, everybody? It's just your probably second favorite outlaw here, Travis here on the stream. Lines are open, so if you want to follow that link below. Oh, first favorite, thank you, Kyra. I appreciate that. I'm gonna drop a line here in chat for anybody who wants to pop on in. Anything you want to say, anything you want to do, just come on in. Obviously with the caveat, usual caveats, that if you say anything horrible, you will be punished to the fullest extent of the law and beyond. Anyway, we're having a fun stream here, and the purpose of this stream is that we at 10 Paces haven't really acknowledged Pride yet. And I don't mean this to be like a caveat. It's just that in whatever stupid putrid garbage we're always spewing on a normal episode, we don't want to be like, hey, stupid bullshit. Oh yeah, and Pride. More so for the sake of pride than it is for our own sake. So yeah. In order as a little acknowledgement, a little celebration, I'm gonna draw one of my favorite gay couples in media. And we'll see how this little doodle goes. So without further ado, come on in. Let's have fun. I'm not gonna show hand just yet and tell you who I'm drawing, but it'll be pretty obvious pretty quick. And thank you, Kyra, for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you everyone for coming by. It's Thursday. It's going to be a short stream. It always is. But, you know, that's how we operate here. You get a little nice digestible piece of content for your content cravings. I say as a content addict myself. Let's see. I'm just pulling up some reference images now. And I've got the time lapse turned on, so we're set there. We are good. We are a couple paces ahead, which is, I guess, where we want to be. Gonna kind of do a sharing a milkshake drawing because found some cool references. Oh my god, I can't see that against this background. Gonna stick with some magenta, I guess. It does kind of muddy out, but I learned from an artist I really respect that kind of having that muddy sketch layer incentivizes you to get rid of it as fast as possible. If something is heinous to the eyes, you wanna not look at it. Like staring directly at the sun, or staring at a corner pile of trash. So that could be a fun project to go around and sketch trash piles throughout the city. Also, I should probably distance any talk of trash piles away from this stream, because that was the entire intent all along. Also, all this music is supposed to be royalty free. If I get struck, I don't know. I'll be mildly inconvenienced, I guess. How you doing tonight, Kyra? Because I'm doing okay. I finished a big old commission, and the client seems to be tremendously happy. And that's been really reassuring. Client, acquaintance, friend, whatever you might say. Kyra is debating their sanity with 4 dogs, 4 huskies at that, and at this point, that's on you because they outnumber you now, and they are pack animals. So you done this to yourself. And let me know if I'm getting a little too divulgent information here, but your oldest husky, maybe on your side for a time, but pack rules, baby. You have impulse control. That's fair. Did you settle on a name? Because I like your daughter's proposed name, and it's a treasure. And in response to will you get to see it, I did some assets for Arden Murphy on YouTube. So if you just search Arden Murphy on there, or on Facebook, you should be able to see the assets soon enough. And it was like, I'm really happy it came in. It was a nice way to test myself and to really learn and grow. I hadn't really been taking commissions for a while for various reasons. This one just kind of came in, and it really worked some muscles I really wasn't using very much. So it was a nice departure from my day-to-day. A big one being that I have to deliver a finished product. And I hope I'm not being glib or aloof here, because I know you did request a poster, Ira. That is still in the works. I'm sorry, it just keeps reworking because I am a fussy boy. And I'm trying to do traditional mediums as much as possible, so I apologize. But that is the name. Okay, going back to the Huskies. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. Can I say the name on stream? Because it is god tier as far as dog names go. Anyway, yeah, I'm happy, and I'm glad you've been as gracious with me as you have. And it's fine, I can say it. Fucking Loveheart. Loveheart as the name of a dog is top tier. That is amazing. I said it sounds like a power metal song. So, you know, like, you can just picture the guitars wailing, and across the forsaken battlefield, against the blood red sky, Loveheart stands strong against the foes, and will meet you eye to eye. Loveheart! Defender of the Week! So yeah, Loveheart is an incredible name for a dog. But if it's not apparent yet, I'm drawing some Marsabub because it's not always an ideal relationship, but it's wholesome and it's healthy. The song was great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know. I haven't had enough power metal figs lately. After finishing Brutal Legend, I don't know. I developed an addiction, I guess. He's a really good dog. Got some stuff to work out though. But you know me. I like my dogs like I like my Animan. Pretty damaged and annoying. Ooh, have you seen Hell's Paradise yet? Cause some husbandos in there for sure. Honestly, everybody in that show has a little trauma. And I mean they're tropey for sure, but maybe like the next step up from tropey. Like they each get a little development, ideally. I haven't read it or anything, but following along with what Crunchyroll posts. You don't need any more anime men or dogs. Got it. So more real men and more anime dogs is what I'm hearing. Yeah, see, I can read between the lines. I'm insightful, or I can just take whatever words are posted and twist them to fill dead air. Dead air is the enemy here at 10 paces. And what apropos song timing. Trying to breathe fresh air into our little town here. Been doing crafts for the child's 4th birthday. What have you been working on? I'm excited. Obviously, the parties are always immensely wonderful. And a culinary voyage? No. A culinary apex, I'd say. An ice cream cone 4, and painting mason jars. Amazing. I'm excited to see it all shake out. What are they going to be wearing, though? I'm thinking ripped tank for Marceline. With their bodies leaned in like that, that's what feels natural. Art is suffering. PP and Marceline. Yeah. Drawing some Marsabub. Because it's a very wholesome, delightful relationship. Like, they go through struggles on screen, and I think that's really cool. Marceline kind of has to go from the punk rock life to growing up, I guess, and that's very relatable for me. But also just kind of coping with like that, like a loss of identity, because you want to be punk rock, you want to be rebellious and stuff, but you also kind of have to cope with the realities of the world around you and sustain yourself accordingly. Bubs has to deal with a lot of control issues and kind of overcome those and relinquish those. I think it's really, really neat. And they help each other do that. And they help each other grow in those ways. Gonna give Marcy the big old Death Hawk though. Can't forget the noodle arms. Super important. Bubblegum's fun to draw because of all these gloopy shapes. And another noodly arm. Probably gonna be in an autumn colored sweater. Which may not have been her style before, but certainly branched out. Gloopy fingers. And we'll size this down so we can just make a straight line to create a table space. Perfect. I thought for sure he would end up with Finn, so it was a treat that it didn't happen. Oh yeah, and I think if the show had ended even 3 years earlier, they might have gone that route, but it just kept pushing, and that was kind of like their whole deal is that, and they really paved a way for people like Rebecca Sugar, who was also a part of Adventure Time, but created Steven Universe, um, to really just kind of push Cartoon Network's boundaries, and that's honestly the entire impetus of that channel. Um, the only thing keeping them from just going balls to the wall with what they're willing to show on Cartoon Network is advertisers, and it's ridiculous. But they bring on these very cutting edge animators, and that's how we got uh, JG Quintel with Regular Show and Penn Ward with Adventure Time. Together, they made Flapjack before that. But then we got Rebecca Sugar, kind of creating a whole new wave in animation and really pushing, what is acceptable for network to show. And that's really amazing, and it's got to be tough to kind of walk that line. But ultimately, it creates great strides for queer content, and everyone benefits because of it. And if you're saying I don't benefit because of it, then fuck off, I guess. And it's also just nice because Adventure Time's writers are so. I went off on a deep tangent there, but Adventure Time's writers have always been so thoughtful, and ultimately everything became about very human aspects. Like everything between Finn and Jake was just, two dudes with differing ideals. Jake ultimately became the older brother, even though he was kind of immature, but he aged in dog years, and then he kind of transcended. Spoilers, by the way. But he was always kind of on a heady transcendence path, and I always found that really delightful. And Finn was a kid growing up slower than him and kind of had to keep up. And so they had these silly, fun adventures, but ultimately kind of had different values towards the later seasons there. People would say homophobic shit like that. I'm just like, why are you alive this month? Yeah, it's bizarre, but because it's such a polarizing issue, it's always going to happen. And it shouldn't be polarizing, no, but I don't want to get into that this stream. I just want to celebrate this stream. And that's what Pride's about. It's about just being able to celebrate who you are and everyone else be damned. So happy Pride, everybody. Also, if you've got something you're proud of, you really want to voice your pride, follow that Discord link. I'll post it in chat again. And everyone feel free to join in. And if you're watching and for some reason you're against Pride, get vocal in the chat and we will destroy you mercilessly. We say some ribbled shit here on 10 Faces, but there's a few lines we will not allow to be crossed. Skew the paneling on this glass so it's a little yeah. This is good enough. I just have to keep telling myself it's good enough. It's not. It's not good enough. Who am I kidding? I would never allow that in a finished product. Whenever I first got a drawing program, I started off drawing with a Paint Tool SI, and they had kind of an auto steady feature, or no, it might have been Karita, where I first encountered an auto stabilization feature, and that changed my whole world, honestly. But where I'm going with this, I always wondered if things like that, like accessibility tools and kind of quality of life tools, would change how digital art is done. And ultimately, I think it has. I think things like that make it more accessible. The AI, I think, will ultimately be like that, a tool people use, and it'll be up to each person how they choose to use it. So I don't think the issue is with AI itself. I think it's with, obviously there's the consent of creators being used to train AI, but every, I don't know, any pic posting site has been doing that since inception, including DeviantArt, which I've recently learned, and Instagram. They've always held rights to anything you post there. And also the people just trying to make money off of typing stuff into a prompt bar. But I think that stuff will get weeded out, because I want to believe that ultimately we reward effort. And maybe everything doesn't always land, but we reward genuinely funny content and well-produced content, obviously. I think production value goes a long way. You wouldn't know it by watching our YouTube, but hey, you get to watch it on the ground floor and go check it out and see it improve. But anyway, I think production quality goes a long way, and so I think obviously that will kind of separate folks in the AI discussion. Oh, hey there. Axum joined the Discord. Appreciate it. But I think the ultimately AI will be a useful tool in digital art. I think it'll cut out a lot of the tedium, um, which I'm sure a lot of old hats and everything have issue with. I'm not. I'm honestly not sure how I feel about the whole thing. Um, but I'm also certainly not in the camp of I suffered, so you should too. But I mean, if people can genuinely make some really, really cool stuff with AI, then I'd like to see that era. And I think it'll create a new space for traditional media. I think kind of in the way CG animation ousted traditional animation just because of speed and production time. And that's specifically speaking with Disney. But now traditional animation has become more niche. It's not industrial, but that just means it's not capitalistically viable. And I don't know, capitalism and art have never gotten along. Maybe in the Renaissance. But ultimately, like, industrialization is the antithesis of creativity. Does Lane have pointy ears? She does. I know I'm just rambling, but would you rather hear me ramble or would you rather hear just abject silence? It's June, y'all. Noticed a big a phrase going around for this particular pride, which is y'all means all. And it sucks because it picked up so quick that it's all corporate branded now. And corporate branded anything just skeeves me. Like, whenever you try to capitalize on something as a trend, no matter what it is, like, I think last year, for Juneteenth, Walmart released a Juneteenth ice cream, which was just such a misstep. Just such a showing of, yeah, a machine makes everything we do. It was such a soulless move. I had to play Pokemon Smile for the Child. You know, Pokemon Smile? That, or am I just misreading that? I'll smile. It's a toothbrushing game. Oh, that's fantastic. Anything to instill those good habits. Like, I had cavities all my life because I don't know, I had negative habit responses to teeth brushing. And so anything that can kind of instill those young is such a treasure. You clean the plaque off Pokemon and then catch them. Yeah. And so you get that direct analog, you get some positive response into brushing your own teeth because you're like, ooh yeah, Hitmonchan's mine. Try and knock out these pearly whites. Get rid of all the fungus and amoongus in your teeth. Move his hair around. Oh, so it's like an AR game. That's super cool. I mean, hey, Pokemon Go and the Pokewalker got people out there walking. Like, Pokemon has such influential power, and I'm happy to see they're using it for good, like, by and large, anyway. Oh, that hair motion doesn't make any sense. More hair back here. Oh yeah, I forgot about Pokemon Sleep. I think that'll be a really delightful time. Because, like, I typically don't get down with, your typical ASMR. Especially because when I tried it, I got kind of autoplayed into some mukbang videos. And that was a rude awakening, because Misophonic Nightmare, that was waking up to my own personal hell. I would have rather have stayed in the horrible nightmare I was in than wake up to eating food on mic. If you're into mukbangs, get on the Discord. I want to talk with you. Like, you don't disgust me, your tastes do, but I want to talk with you. I want to understand where this is coming from. Your comparison is the George Lopez theme song in the middle of the night. What, you're not just jamming to Lowrider to go to sleep? When I was a teen, a child, I used to have really vivid dreams, and if I often slept with the TV on, and the audio of the TV would influence my dreams. And so I've had some pretty I don't know, directed dreams and nightmares. Like, I had Cartoon Network on, and then Full Metal Alchemist came on as I was sleeping, and influenced my dreams. So it was a bunch of cartoons talking about sacrificing humans, which I guess is what FMA is, but had a lot of Ed, Edd n Eddy dreams. I mean, you can certainly do worse. Animation has had its highs and lows, or TV as a whole has, I guess. I love King of the Hill and I respect it immensely, but like having it on while I slept always kind of like carried a small feeling of nausea with it, and I have no idea why. I'm sure it was a diet thing, but it just carried on through adolescence. Cross right there. Get rid of those edges. Maybe come in with a little distorted table edge there. Now we're on to Bubs, so I'm gonna get some more volume to that bang there. Also Adventure Time with its like little simple round shape art style, like does so much. They're so expressive and well designed characters. And so yeah, I'm sure it was done for ease of animation, but they don't use it as a crutch. I'm sure a lot of people have this kind of this notion that it's easier to draw cartoony characters. And I mean, by and large, yeah, but it takes much more talent. Like, you have to know your shit to draw a really good, really iconic cartoon character. Like, there are so many little subtle details that make such a huge difference in a well-drawn character and in a well-animated character. And Adventure Time does that in spades. I just can't draw this shape I drew before. I can't even trace today. Like, the ability to make just a couple of circles express an emote is such a terrific feat. And that was another important lesson I got from that recent commission I did. I really got to play around with emotions and cartoon faces, and doing that in a couple different styles is really, I don't know, it was a really good learning experience. And it really helped me to explore my own style. Had a really great time. I'm watching a couple different things because I'm a glutton for content. I started watching an HBO show called Hacks, which is about a writer and a stand-up comic, and honestly, not what I was expecting from it. It does some really cool human stuff with some characters. Um, I don't know. I just assumed it would be, and obviously this has nothing to do with the show as much as it does my own expectations. But I was expecting it to be more about kind of the road comic, the stand-up comic life, but it has an entirely different, perspective on that, and it was really, really neat because I've always been interested in the stand-up comedy scene. I still don't know that I'd ever do it, but I enjoy it. Rekha Shankar from Dropout shows up, and it was really cool to see her in a place that wasn't Dropout. Seems terrifying. Stand up? Oh, I'm sure. Like, they say that you have to do it in order to bomb, and I mean that's true with any creative endeavor, just any endeavor as a whole, is that you have to fail in order to learn, and failing sucks, but I mean, to quote Adventure Time, sucking at something is the first step to being kind of good at something. Maybe one of these days I'll try and come up with a type 5. But no more. After that, I'll just, I don't know, have a nosebleed and black out on stage. I don't have a great stage experience. When I was a kindergartner, they made us do a play, and most of my kindergartner memories are kind of a haze, but I remember hazily kind of rehearsing lines, and then when it came time for it, I ran off the stage crying. Yeah, that gifted child syndrome, making these crafts is frustrating. Yeah, I mean, it was an ingrained kind of trait, and I don't know, it's partly on me. I wish I had broken out of it sooner. I did soccer in kindergarten as well. I played my first game, and I fell, and I quit right there in the middle of the game because I didn't like falling and I didn't want to do it again. And then my mom was like, okay, quit. I started to learn piano, and then it got hard, and so I quit. And that's when I really regret not being pushed into. I mean, maybe being pushed in the way my parents did would have developed a negative relationship with me, or with the piano, but I wish I knew more instruments than I do. I played the trombone for 2 years and never really practiced because there was no incentive to. But then it turns out I'm really into ska, and so now I regret not learning the trombone more. I never really learned the guitar or the bass, though I tried. Tried in quotes. We did ice skating, horseback riding, and dancing with them all. That's such a bummer, because it's wisdom is the gift of time. And it'd be so nice to be able to go back in time and, you know, kind of talk some sense into your younger self. This seat doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I don't know, it's Adventure Time. It's in the doo-wop kingdom, I guess. Where 2 kids can still split a malted. It's looking okay. I'll probably get a little color here just to get the conceit across. But it is Thursday. I got shit to do. So what's a good vanilla-y color? So we'll get the orange. Get real pasty with it. Fuck it, we'll color in the whole glass. It's a little too light, though. It's hard not to, whenever you're flatting, just account for the fact that you're going to add highlights, because you're like, you have an idea of what it should look like in your head, and a lot of that is light source and reflection, and so everything seems very drab and dull whenever you're just flatting. Like, even that seems too light because it needs to be a more neutral tone. And if that all disappears under the shadows and highlights, then it's still doing something. It's still there in spirit. Maybe this is one I'll come back to for the rest of the month. Heck, might only have one more Thursday stream this month. We're gonna be doing them every other Thursday while we catch up on our backlog of videos over on the YouTube. Uploading asterisk every Sunday and Wednesday at noon sharp Central Time. But man, do we have a backlog we've got to catch up on. And I mean, some of them have some nice little editing treats as I learn how to edit. So be sure to catch those. And go a little gray with the whipped cream here. Because a good whipped cream doesn't have that yellowish tint to it. They either put some kind of dye in it to tone it, or it just comes out that nice alabaster. We'll throw some in here. And it stands out from the vanilla malt of the shake. And that looks like a good neutral vanilla. Get in there. I love the select features of Clip Studio so much. They've done a whole lot to really innovate the effectiveness of it. And Dakota's taught me a lot through his flatting classes, which you can also find on YouTube. Just a lot of the industry methods have been really cool. See, they have no problem sharing a milkshake because Marceline's just sucking the red out of it. I want more of those round shapes in there. Be a little leftover milkshake. So that's the idea anyway. I think I'll keep working on this, and ideally I'll have it up before the end of the month, but man, I don't like time constraints. Yeah, so that conceit is there. I've got a few other things I've got to get to tonight, but I appreciate everyone coming out and joining. Thank you, Kyra, for keeping me company in chat. Thank you to everyone out there watching. Catch us here Monday, 8 p.m. Central. Catch us. Gotta check my dates here. Not next Thursday, but the following, the 29th. And happy Pride, y'all.